Salam Media. Now tuned into the Sports Talk with myself, Zakir Dawood. Yes, we're going to be joined by the latest addition to the 2021 season of the Premier League, the top division of South Africa's National Football League. We're going to be joined by Mr. David Mogashoa, who's going to be telling us all about the Dubai Birds' return to the AFSA Premiership. The Dubai Birds marked their return to the PSL, where they last participated in the 2014-2015 season. The 2020-21 season will now consist of three Soweto Giants in your Premier League of the South Africans PSL. Swallows was formed in 1940 and have been dominating the football scene ever since, winning a number of trophies up until the latest being the National First Division, where they pipped Ajax Cape Town to the league on goal difference on the final day of the league to gain automatic qualification to South Africa's top flight league. The Dubai Birds have been a force in South African football. The 1950s, 1960s was their greatest and most successful time at the league as a club, culminating their greatest ever achievements, winning the South African League title within that decade. The same year, they also received their first sponsorship, which was in the form of Taljoy, and this is where Taljoy's association began with the club. Off the field, the Dubai Birds were doing amazing things, becoming the first business registered football team in South African football. This all happened in 1971. Their decade of glory, you could say, 1982 till 1992, where they came with 4 pieces of silverware in that time period. The club then narrowly avoided relegation come 2013-2014 season, finishing 13th. However, the following season, seeing them relegated for the first time in their history, finishing 15th and failing to retain their position, and obviously not qualifying for promotion relegation playoff. Then it went from bad to worse, you could say. The following season, they were then relegated from the National First Division, and they went on and went to go play SAFA Second Division. Their steady climb to the back to top flight football was boosted when they then bought the Maccabi franchise and once again competed in the NFD. This time with a revived hope of playing Premier Division football once again. Fast forward to 2020, Swallows are now preparing to play top flight football again, competing amongst the other Soweto Giants. The third one is finally back. Now I'm gonna be welcoming the Swallows chairman, Mr. David Mogashoa. Good evening. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me this Friday.
No. Good evening, and thank you for inviting us. Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure. I mean, spirits are high. I'm sure everything is going good that side of Soweto. What is it like? What's the mood like being back in top flight football?
The mood is great. We are happy. The supporters are happy, especially our older supporters who never gave up when Swallows was away for 7 years. They still carried on wearing their Swallows jerseys, and we are grateful for that. We appreciate them, and we want to promise them that Swallows will stay in top flight for a very long time.
Certainly. That's right where you belong with the history that your club has. I mean, come on. We need to see some silverware back in Soweto soon. I mean, we might just see some silverware being flexing.
It started already. We've got one. We've tasted it. We want it.
Yeah. Now, come next season, I mean, you're gonna be competing with the big boys. I mean, you're finally there to reclaim your status in the league, which you became famous for. What can we expect from Swallows come 2021? I mean, Giants, a massive team. What can we expect?
Now you have the original Soweto derby in the pipeline. You've got Pirates Swallows. That's the original derby. And then you have Chiefs Swallows. That's another derby in Soweto. So you're looking forward to, it's going to be exciting season. It's going to be exciting football. And we are not going there just to sleep. We're going there to compete. But we're not going to put our guys under pressure to win the league, but we want them to compete.
Talking about competing, you do have such a strong squad that brought you through the season, winning the league on goal difference against Ajax. We do know the league changed hands quite a number of times this season. However, you know who finishes last is obviously loves the best, and that happened to be you on the day. Will there be any changes that will be brought in come the following season?
No, there will be some minimal changes with regard to new players joining the team, but we are happy with the squad that we have. We're happy with the technical team. The coach will be staying on. He will be coaching the team going forward.
Some exciting stuff there. It's sticking to the winning formula, you say.
Yeah.
So, being the chairman of the club, from a business perspective, how has this promotion boosted the club from a business perspective?
It has boosted the club because we've always been running Swallows like a business. You know, as you said previously, that Swallows was the first one, Morocco Swallows was the first one to register as a company. The philosophy was always to run the football division as a business. So we have been running it as a business. That's why we managed to succeed in one season and gain promotion. So we're carrying the same philosophy into PSL, that we must run it like a business. If something does not make sense, it does not make sense that it does not belong in the team. So it has to be run like a business.
Most definitely. And South Africa, from a sporting fraternity, can take so much lessons from Swallows as a whole into running their clubs and our unions as professional entities in order to gain maximum profits and obviously let our sporting industry start booming in this country. Talking about the industry booming, we do know there's been some notable investors in your club. Has those investments taken your club to another level? And do you think that these investors made it possible for Swallows' return to the Premier League?
Look, the investors, I must say, the MEC of Education, Mr. Lesufi, played a big role in making sure that the 7 years that Swallows was not in playing professional football, the name stayed up there because he fought with everything he had to make sure that the name stays afloat. And obviously, I came in, we bought the Maccabi franchise, and we played in the NFD until we gained promotion. But everyone that has invested in the club has helped the club to be where it is today. So a big thank you to everyone.
And you were talking about keeping the name up there. We do know that Swallows was originally known as Morocco Swallows. Could we see a return to getting that famous Morocco back into the company name?
No, definitely, because we own the intellectual property of that of the previous Morocco Swallows. We've bought it from the auction. We own it, so it is possible. We just want to make sure that there are no skeletons hidden in that name. So once everything has been cleared and we've got a certificate of clearance from FIFA, then we can use the name. We just don't want to use the name and then we are number one on the log, and then FIFA comes and say deduct 20 points from these guys, and then we are back at the bottom. We want to make sure that whatever we work for, we keep it.
No, certainly. And I'm sure that you're excited. We all are excited. We're so ecstatic because Salam Media being in the south of Johannesburg, I mean, less than 20 kilometers from Soweto, you guys are like a home club to us.
No,
very soon you can start putting up your jerseys around our studios. We won't mind. It's exciting times. It's a party in Joburg. It's a party. Who knows? Tomorrow we might just see Kaizer Chiefs lifting the trophy. Who knows?
You know, you look at Kaizer Chiefs situation. It's like how we were. You know, we were on the league on the log, number one on the log for 3 days, and we were on the log for 3 days that mattered. Ajax stayed on the log for a long time, but we were on the log, on top of the log for 3 days that mattered, and we made sure that we clinch it. So I would encourage Chiefs to make sure that they clinch that league because they don't want a repeat of what happened in the Glad Africa Championship.
No, definitely. You mentioned the likes of Ajax being on top of the log. Social media banter has always been one that Ajax has dominated on all platforms. Then you came and proved what matters most, winning the title. How important is it for our teams in the Premier League, in our NFD as well, to have their media teams set up so that there could be a clear story portrayed from the team to the media, to the rest of the public? What is the importance behind a media team following with a football team?
It is very important because I'm involved with the media teams as well. I speak to them every day. I make sure that these guys know exactly what's going on. And a good thing is the media team is not someone that's sitting in the office. It's someone that moves around with the team. So that person understands exactly what's going on. So when something goes out, they can deal with it immediately because they know they've been there, they are there currently. So it is important that the person that deals with media is a person that knows and understands the team 100%, not the person that's sitting in an office and getting SMSs. No, you must be there physically and see the team.
Physically seeing the team rise to glory, back to glory. I mean, amazing things. I'm so ecstatic. I'm sure you can tell by the energy in the studio. The
Definitely.
team at the back was just as ecstatic. Once we knew that you'd be joining us this evening, everybody couldn't stop speaking about it. Some exciting times. Talking about exciting times, I'm sure there is millions, hundreds of thousands of kids in Soweto that have the dream of one day playing for the Soweto Giants. For many years, it's just been Pirates and Chiefs. Now, Swallows are back in the Premier League. There's a new hope that's been given to these kids. Will there be a clear pathway for kids coming up from the community to represent their township team, if you want to call it that?
No, definitely. We're going to now start with the 2 development structures. There's one for MDC, there's one for 10 and 14 years old. So the Soweto kids will definitely have a chance to be part of the history. They will be part of Swallows. We'll make sure that the development area is centered around the kids in Soweto because we want them to be part of Swallows.
Swallows is definitely going to be making a name for themselves. And you've talked about the pathway for the players. For coaches and administrators as a whole, would there be a clear pathway for that as well?
No, definitely, because with the introduction of the new development structures, it introduces new technical team that will be joining the current technical team. So with new people coming in for lower divisions, they will be sharing ideas with the current technical team, and with everybody staying that won the league. They'll be also exchanging their ideas with the guys that are coming in for the lower division. So it will be good for the team that there's new ideas and there's still the older ideas that can take the team forward.
And it's always great when you have that blend of the experience mixed with the energy and the passion of the youth coming together. It gives off such a great end product for your consumers, which would then be your spectators and your fans sitting at home supporting the team.
No, definitely.
2020-2021 season. Give us a sneak peek, a preview. There's no nice way to ask this, but what can we expect with regards to kit? I mean, you're famous for your maroon kit. I mean, give us a sneak peek. Let's allow media be the first to share this with our listeners and our followers.
Our kit is still maroon, white, and alternative, which is gray. So we are still going to be using the same colors, but we're just changing a little bit, not too much, a little bit, because our supporters were just happy. They just bought these replicas. We don't want them to lose value. What we're going to do is just make small, minor changes. We are still busy with that. Once that has been finalized, then we'll be able to share with you.
Oh, we can't wait for it. I'm sure we'd be expecting some nice unboxings here at the Salam Media Studios. We'll definitely be doing one for you. Whether we have to buy it, we don't mind. I mean, we finally have our homeboys back in the league.
No, definitely we'll share. We'll share with you.
We're certainly excited for it. David, now comes the business end of things. I mean, you're there now.
Yeah.
You're now there. You said your technical teams are in place. You're going to be expanding as a business. For your spectators, we do know they're supporting from home, and many of them have been waiting for over 7 years to return to the stadium to see their team playing top flight football. How would you encourage your supporters to support their teams, however, stay within safety precautions, knowing that COVID is still around?
Firstly, I'd like to make a call to all our supporters that are sitting in Kloorkop to please log on to www.swallowsfc.com. Fill in the form. We are ready to welcome you. We know we've been out in the wilderness supporting other teams. Now come back home. And we want to encourage everyone else to please continue supporting the team. Stay at home until our president, Mr. Ramaphosa, announces the new regulation that will maybe allow us to have supporters at the stadiums. We are looking forward to having them at the stadiums.
Definitely. Talking about stadiums, will we be returning to Dobsonville Stadium?
Dobsonville is our home. We are forever there.
Oh, exciting times, exciting times. We're certainly looking forward to it. From us at Salam Media, we thank you for your time this evening. We really, really thank you. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys back in. Can I please see my shadow in that trophy? You have to let me flex on this at least once in my life. Well, we're hoping soon that you could bring that the trophy through to the Salam Media studio. Exciting times.
No, definitely. We'll make a pass through and bring it when we come through for the parade. I think it will be somewhere in October, because we're hoping that there will be some relaxations on the regulations so we can have a bit of a grouping with our supporters.
And what can we expect? What areas will be covered during that trophy parade?
We're going to be covering Soweto, Dobsonville. Most of the big part of Soweto will be covered.
Definitely looking forward to that. I mean, we're back. We're better.
The beds are flying high. The beds are flying high, eh? The beds are flying high, and they are not going back. They are flying high.
They soaring. They soaring.
No, definitely.
Look, thank you so much for your time, for joining us this evening. We do know that it's back to business for you. You've got to get your club ready in order to shine on top. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. Once again, from our side, we really, really appreciate it. And we hope to chat to you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and enjoy your evening. Thank you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That was your Dube Birds chairman, Mr. David Mogashoa, sharing what it's like to be back in top flight football in South Africa, the business changes that had to take place at the club. And yes, the club will be sticking to their winning formula and what brought them to the top flight football league in South Africa. Thank you so much. We're now going to go back to ST in just a bit. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.